The Lost Art Project, Veterans' Voices, preserving the stories of those who served, protecting their legacies for generations to come.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Project Veterans Voices. I'm your host, Andrew Cox, and today we're having a fireside chat with the crew, at least one of them, and special guest, Dr. Charles Russo. But before we get into the episode, you enjoyed the podcast, make sure you go hit up the website. That's the Lost Art Project, veteransvoices.org. I'm telling you, man, there's all kinds of good stuff happening on the website. I've been in there. I've been doing the whole thing. We have our research portal up, man. Go in there, type in some stuff, search up some episodes. It's a pretty cool deal. Anyways, I like it. Maybe I don't know. It's just me that likes it, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, big shout out to Allcoin over at Brav, man. They're awesome. They're allowing us to have this digital coin to be able to send out to everybody that comes on the program. It's a pretty cool deal. If you haven't gone and visited them, you need to go check them out, allcoin.brav.co. And like always, for everybody out there, if you're looking for a VSO, don't worry. The Marine Corps League has them, and they'll take everybody. They don't have to be just Marines. They'll take anybody. But go to mcleague.org, do the VSO locator, or you can dial 703-207-9588, extension 299.
The Lost Art Project Veterans Voices would like to thank our sponsors. Saddleback Leather Company, saddlebackleather.com. They will fight over it when you are dead. Brav, allcoin.brav.co. Preserving the stories behind your challenge coins. Honor Dog Designs. Find them at honordogdesigns.com. Swag made just for you. Tinker Federal Credit Union. Visit tinkerfcu.org to learn more about their military rewards program.
Oh, here we are. We got everybody here, man, alive. Now, of course, Mark's been here 1,000 times, and Dr. Russo's been here a couple of times. So hopefully you watched his show. Anyways, incredible story. I need you to go back and check it out if you haven't done it. But Dr. Charles Russo, how you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you.
Man, I'm excited that you're back here. I had a great time with you before, so I think we're going to have an even better time tonight.
So did I. Me too. I think we're going to have some really good there.
Mary, it's even better because we have Mark here. Mark, how you doing?
I'm outstanding, Andrew. I'm down in Jacksonville, Florida right now.
Ooh.
I'm down here for some training for the Wounded Warrior Project.
Right. Yeah.
And it's hot and muggy down here too, but the price is a lot better. And
Well, that's good. That's good.
Way better.
I love it. Well, shoot. Here we are, man. And Dr. Russo has come on. If you don't mind, I'll just call you Charles. Is that okay?
Yeah,
I did it last time, and I didn't even ask, and I apologize. But so Charles, man, when you were on last, you had like 5 different books that you were doing. And I know we were just talking about it before we came on here. Can you let everybody know like how busy you are right now?
Well, I mean, I stay busy. I feel always bad if I'm not. And when I say I feel bad, it's like I just can't sit on the couch and do nothing. So even to the chagrin of my wife, who says, "You're working, don't stay up late. What do you mean you got up that early?" I feel my best when I don't say I'm working, but I do. I look at what I am able to accomplish just for myself. I mean, I read a lot. I love reading. I think we talked a little bit about that, and that's really the catalyst for the books that I write and my Substack. I'm constantly doing research. I mean, I did it as a profession, as an intel analyst with the federal government and the Navy, but it's kind of like they unleashed me, and I finally get to do what I really want to have the passion for. So I've been really keeping busy. I've got a gosh, within the next 2 to 3 months, I'll have 2 textbooks published. They're already in typesetting with the 2 different publishers. I've got another publisher who has taken 2 of my books that I self-published last year, and they're just about ready. Within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we should actually have those go live on their website. But then I still continue to write. I just submitted I've been writing my own philosophy book. And
nice.
It's Precision and Curiosity. It's kind of like we as a society, we've lost the precision of thinking, and that curiosity, to say that line of inquiry, right? Of we're so engrossed, and I just watch these young influencers, if you will, like, they get on there and they say stuff just for a bite. Well, so do politicians, but and it's like, but they're banking on no one asking anything.
No one back looking up what they say.
The fact checking.
Exactly. And you say the lie enough.
And it becomes truth.
True. Yeah. And so, and then even teaching, I still teach graduate and doctoral level studies, but I've been really looking at all the different news that I can find, especially now that we're at the beginning of the school year. It really was alarming to hear teachers who within the first week or so just go, we have students who can't read, write, talk, think. And I'm like, I've been shouting it from the mountaintop.
Well, that's wild.
Yeah.
Now, well, if you don't mind, I'd like to jump into that a little bit, like kind of talk us through what your thinking is on that whole process.
Well, when it comes to let me ask some clarification.
Okay.
What do you mean when it comes to that?
Well, I'm talking about your book that you wrote, right? Your philosophy book. Going into that.
Precision and Curiosity Theory. My theory is that, without the tenets and the foundations that we should be teaching, and you go back to, we should be teaching logic and rhetoric and actual philosophy.
Right.
I mean, I don't care whether you want to read Bertrand Russell or Nietzsche or Hume or, Immanuel Kant, but at least if you read something of philosophy, you begin to understand of what you like and what you don't like. I mean, Nietzsche has been wrong about everything that he wrote. Some really great questions about life.
But everybody quotes him.
Everybody quotes him because he does. He's got those really great sound bites. But at least it gets people to start to, and younger people, because I have a couple of philosophy books out there. I have the 100 Stoic quotes and the precision for the regular critical thinking.
Right.
And it just, as I've talked to younger people, because I was that juvenile probation officer in 23, 24, having these, that's part of the reason I wrote this philosophical theory of, if we don't, we're kind of doomed in a way. And I mean the doomed as in, where are we going to go? With AI, we're just going to allow complete abandonment of cognitive, I just say cognitive surrender. It's not even cognitive offload.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so that's what I kind of, and we have leaders that don't, well, even academic leaders, we have politicians, we just have business leaders who just kind of let people be who they are. There was a CIA report came out last week that even said their own cadre of intelligence officers are kind of this really isn't for me, because they don't want to think.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is our national security, our national defense. I'm
that's crazy.
That's where the book but my book also, I just didn't have it read like, a novel.
Yeah.
I actually put some good steps, tables, matrices, uh, a good part of it so people can apply it to their everyday life. But I also broke it down that if you're an intelligence officer, if you're a juvenile probation officer, if you're an academic, or you're just a business leader. So I didn't want to just say, here's a really dry philosophy as well.
And
Well, you're right. That starts with them young, right? And nowadays, like my kids, they grew up with a cell phone. That's what they know, and they're way better at it than I am. But as time goes on, if they don't start thinking, they don't think outside of the box and do their homework, then it's what are we destined to do? We're destined to fail at some point, right?
Yeah.
Doc, and Andrew will back me up on this. What I've always preached: brilliance in the basics.
Yeah.
You have to be able to read. You have to be able to do multiplication, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And
So
then you
true.
read real books, read history, the real history. And if you're getting everything from the internet, you don't know what has been changed with the
Yes.
internet. And I've heard professionals in my industry say, yeah, it's AI makes it much more efficient. We put the document into them and then ask AI to evaluate it for us and tell us what we should know. I'm like, are you
Wow.
kidding me?
I mean, in the absence, I love AI for a lot of things. Now,
For a
I
lot of things.
totally agree with you. If leadership is putting a document and saying, tell us what we should do. I mean, AI does the path of least resistance. But in the void of not having somebody else to bounce an idea off of, that's where I love it. I tell my students, don't rely on it for the sole purpose of answering your question.
Yeah, but that's how lazy people are getting, and it's
That's that
slowly letting them
cognitive
take
surrender.
over.
That's the
Yes.
cognitive surrender. They just say, you know what, I'm going to have AI do it. And it'll figure it out for me. I mean, gosh, my chat GPT will answer emails for me if I really let it. But I
Of
say
course,
no.
but you set it up to
And
answer it for you. Yeah,
yeah,
without a doubt.
it can run my life or it can ruin my life. One of the two.
True. Yeah. Very true. I use the heck out of AI, especially when it comes to I'll write up something for the description of the shows. I'll write up what I think should go there, and then I put it in AI, and it splits out something that's way more professional than what I put in. Same thing with emails. I'll type it, put it
is
in.
what you are thinking, Andrew.
Yeah.
It started out with you thinking. You're just using it as a efficiency type expert, but
Right.
it's still coming from your mind. When people start using it for their own ideas to even start out. Okay, AI, I want to do
Tell me how to make
this.
$1 million.
And
I haven't figured that one out yet.
It's what they say, the slippery slope, and that's exactly what it is.
Very true.
We have whole generations now. Gen Z, millennials, Gen Z, and now the Gen Alphas. Gen Alphas are even worse. I mean, this is based on a lot of different studies that have been done on just the cognitive skills, let alone their metacognitive. They have no clue how to really evaluate their own thinking. And so when people get mad, I'm going to go back to our Defense Department of War.
Department of War.
I think all three of us roll our eyes when that. I'm like, but they used AI for targeting, and there's something to be said good with it, but at the same time, there's the relinquishing of certain, I think, responsibilities and oversight that, but at the same time, then I look at the ages of individuals in the military now, and that you go, oh my gosh. I mean, you look at them on social media and such, and you're like, you're the one that's leading. How did you make E6, or you're E7 now? You know, and I follow more of the
believe me.
No,
I
there's
have the
got to
same
in
thought.
every generation there's got to be good in it, right? I mean, we came
Yeah,
out, we did all right. So, I mean, surely
true.
there's somebody out there that's good.
Yeah. And that's why I really try to impress upon everyone I meet. You know, I'm not the quintessential intellectual either. I mean, myself, I just love reading. So I just got on the kick of reading Dostoevsky. So I've already
Oh
read, you
wow.
know, Crime and Punishment and The Idiot and the Brothers Karamazov. And it's only because I felt through other individuals I follow on social media have been saying the same thing you did, that, you know, we don't read the classics. We don't, you know, our, Mark had
Yeah.
said, you know, people aren't reading the foundational stuff. And I'm like, well,
Correct.
you know, I'm going to start somewhere. I mean, I've got bookshelves full of books. I mean, most of them are intelligence, counterterrorism type stuff, but you know, I mean, because that's what I did. So, but I love biographies. I love looking at history, and what other way, while I can look at history and read it and read it and read it at the same time, I'm like, okay, if I can pull a book off and just, I always try to have a book with me. Um, and there's times people like, you reading that? I'm like, well, yeah, I have it with me. Of course. It's
Just
just,
carrying it
but it
around
is,
for
it's like
looks.
society, people like literally will look at you and go, are you reading that? Well, yes. It's just an aesthetic, you know,
And
right here with my cigar. I mean, you know,
it is rare though nowadays to walk, like go through the
yep.
airport. You don't see people on books much, but either their phone, their laptops, they're in something. And I'm
Except,
guilty of it too. But
except Andrew, he travels around with a book because he's trying
I
to learn
do
a little
travel with
about
one
leadership.
book. I do. Validated Leadership by Marco Lock.
Look at that.
But oh man, but you don't see it. You don't see it very often.
I'll send you a
Yeah.
copy, Doctor.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Oh man, that's good stuff.
Yeah. But even in college classes, again, I work for a lot of different universities. So
Mhm.
non-attribution, I don't say names, but there are some that they go through that, okay, well, the students don't want a textbook anymore. And you're like, well, okay. So you have to go find the supplemental reading material that's out there, but then you have to discern that of, is it, you know, peer reviewed? Is it scholarly? Is it
Correct.
authoritative? And you really have to watch for the angle that you're looking at that article
Oh,
as well. So you don't want it too far left, you don't want it too far right, but you want to
yeah,
give opposing viewpoints. But yeah,
that's very interesting.
yeah, that's stupid. At the same time, I'm like, students don't want a textbook. I'm like, okay, they want everything electronic, but then electronic, there is something to be said that you're not connecting. And that's why, yeah, writing is so significant. I know that there's some European countries going back to, nope, they're going back to books, writing and reading some of the real fundamentals, because this use of electronics, you know, 20, 30 years ago was a great addition, but we've kind of segued to a completely different mindset with these kids. And yeah, these problem solvers. And I look at, you know, what kind of military leadership are we
Mm.
going, are we getting? I think there's always going to be those individuals who really stand out. But then you look at universities that, individuals are coming out with master's degrees or bachelor's degrees, and they still can't really read or write, let alone do basic math, not even going into, if they're mechanical engineers or electronics or anything like that, that's where I fear.
Yeah. And I really think that one of the, going back to the name of the podcast, one of those lost arts is handwriting, just writing things out. It's a lost art. And I know for me, if I write it out, I'll probably remember it, because I can see myself writing a note or whatever. The other thing
you're
is
you're adding more senses into it. The
right. Yeah,
feeling, the eyesight, every,
that's
you're
true.
adding more bodily senses into it when you do it. And they've proven that cursive writing exposes a new part of your brain or a different part of your brain while you're learning it. And all the original documents of the United States are written in cursive.
Yeah,
That's true.
I'm a big fountain pen guy. I have probably a little over a dozen types of fountain pens. And that's what I used to love doing. Then I had a stroke. So I, don't have that ability, that agility to do
Right.
not calligraphy, just the cursive writing. And I'm left-handed. So,
Oh, God.
if the ink doesn't dry instantly, then,
Oh, geez.
ends up
And you're smudging it all over.
You almost have to write with the paper like sideways.
Yes, sideways, and
So you're writing down instead of.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
People always say if you're, when I'm writing, they're like, that's weird. And I'm like, well, that's the way I learned.
I went to Catholic school for 12 years, so we had to have perfect penmanship, printing, and cursive. And all the way through high school, even into senior year, we were doing English, where we had to do words and their definitions and how you use them in a sentence, and you had to write it out. And your penmanship was graded also. It's like
yeah, and we just don't do that. Every year for the last 3 years, I've taught at a private Christian school here in my area, and that is one of the things that I caught on very quick. My first semester that's when ChatGPT came out. So I remember at the beginning of the year, August, they were writing their papers and turning them in, uploading them. And then next thing I know, I'm like, my gosh, these are great papers.
I'm such a good teacher.
I thought I was doing.
They're all geniuses on teaching.
And next thing I know, I have a student who stayed after class and was just like, it's really great. I think everybody was really happy that you gave kudos to everybody, but you realize we're all using ChatGPT. And I'm like, what the heck is ChatGPT? And I'm a college professor. and I was like, I use Grammarly and Quillbot, but no one ever told me about this ChatGPT thing. And that was the end of it. And I was like,
that's funny.
I went
no
back.
More
said,
handwritten.
You're going to rewrite your papers in handwriting. What's funny is that actually even made everybody. I've never had the class so quiet when they had to actually write their stuff out.
And you write it so I can read it, not so you can understand it.
Yeah, that's it. That's the important part.
You turn something into me, it better be so I can read it.
Yeah. That's very true. Holy cow! Even things you were talking about English a second ago, but spelling. Now, if you're typing, what happens? It autocorrects. It does. Yeah. I don't know how many times that I misspell things all the time, or I have fat thumbs or something. But it'll autocorrect, and then it'll autocorrect to something different. And so if you don't go back and read it,
something different.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you got to go back and look at it.
Yep.
Or
and I think that's the other thing is like as we're reading, we're making those connections, the emotional connections to words. And if we write it out, we're making even a more connection. But then as we if we're only typing things in, and as you said, if the autocorrect, well, now the vocabulary, they're using words they actually don't even understand. In my classes, and well, and just in even some of my books, and publications, I even say words have consequences, because how can we have a disagreement? Well, you said this word. Do you understand the definition of that word? Because I'm taking it to mean, because I went and looked it up, what it means. And I'll have students and colleagues who, well, that's not what I meant. And I'm like, but that's what you
That's what
wrote.
you
That's what
put.
you said.
Or that's what you said. Yeah. It's just,
I love it.
so you can't even have a disagreement anymore because their truth is completely not based in reality. Um, so, and that's where the unhinged part. I have a lot of students who are very unhinged as well. So,
Yeah.
I'm like, but they become
Wow.
fodder for a lot of what I write, even on my Substack, and which is kind of crazy as well. So,
See, can
And
you kind of tell us what Substack is exactly? I don't really know.
so Substack is a medium that you can write essays on topics of your leisure, whatever you want.
Okay.
You're vying for subscribers. You're hoping that you click with people, and
I
some
see.
people will pay a monthly fee or a yearly fee to get your writings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, it is. It's a nice way. Mine was, while I still have to write academically,
Hmm.
some of the universities expect publications. So there's a minimum 1 or 2 a year. So I'll still farm out to journals, that are out
Yeah.
there. But for the most part, I get to write on topics that generally they wouldn't be accepted by a journal in intelligence or a journal for criminal justice,
Right.
or a journal for philosophy, because it doesn't fit their neat little box of
Hmm.
criteria. And so it's nice. You get to put out, now people put out a lot of political stuff, but people put out poems and essays, and
Oh, wow.
there's just a very wide range of people that you get to write.
Yeah.
So
That's really cool. I'll have
yeah,
to check that out.
yeah. And
Yeah.
there's a rival site now called Medium as well. But they're a little bit more discerning of uh, the stuff that you write. They want it more, I would say, journalistic in a way
Oh, I
of
see.
being really, because with Substack you can just type, well, both of them, you can just type what you want.
Yeah.
But I think the readers of one are a little bit more discerning of what they're looking
Mm.
for.
Yeah.
Whereas Substack, you can put it out. You're never
Hmm.
going to be rich off of it, but you can, you can make a little bit out of it, for monthly fees or even a
Yeah.
yearly fee. But at least it
Wow.
allows me to put out what I feel for me.
Yeah.
I'm not having to write, like I said, for a journal, for a university that, hey, we need you to write on criminal justice topics because, you're a university professor with us. And so therefore our name has to go on there as well. Well, this one, I don't want to have to be under anybody's thumb. I get to
Yeah.
write what I want and how I want. And I
Good.
do a lot of topics. It's always somewhere around critical thinking, philosophy, and the like, but it'll be like I've written recently on counterterrorism strategies using critical thinking. And
That's something that you brought up when you did your interview, though, and the intelligence, the counterintelligence, and then that critical thinking to be able to do stuff. And you were so right. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, where else do I don't know Mark's background, so but it's like in our in the intelligence community, whether I was naval intelligence, so between the Navy and the Marine Corps intelligence, when we were talking about battle space, priority intelligence requirements, or the commanders intelligence priorities for the battle space, these aren't just kind of pulled out of thin air. People have to think about these questions and about the information. What information is going to close this gap? And that's the hard part is, when I left in 2019, when I left the USIC altogether, I had colleagues that we said, well, we need to update these commander priority intelligence requirements, or the national security ones.
Yeah.
Well, somebody else does that. I'm like, no, you do. And I mean, we're talking, that was 8 years ago, that's something you're supposed to be doing. And it's just like, oh, well, I don't know. What do you got? It's like, yeah. And that is a big part of, over the last, I'd say the last 10 years is really where I started to want to write more about critical thinking. And then, within philosophy, that there's a couple of authors who have said, if we're not teaching philosophy and rhetoric and logic, and we're not teaching mathematics in logic, just regular logic, logical thinking actually has a lot to do with mathematics. And if we're not teaching these foundations, we're at a loss.
Wow.
So
I had a question that just left me.
It is at the same time. It's almost like,
Now, what advice do you have? Let's say some of these young people, maybe in the military, and talking about critical thinking, talking about their career, right? What advice would you have for them when it comes to that?
It's what Mark has already been saying about, it's reading. It's reading just fundamentals. You don't have to pick up a book on, if you're a logistics specialist, you don't have to pick up a book on logistics and understanding warehouse management. It's just pick up a book and start reading. And then at the same time, writing, taking notes. That's why I used to have books that I would, when I was able to really write, I could write little notes in the margins. That's why when you see books, you get used books from the 40s and the 50s, you see people who actually took real notes.
Right.
That's because the critical thinking was very different. They thought about and they had their own perspectives and thoughts on the material they're already reading. And that's what I would say to anyone, even in the middle, like, just start out by starting to take your notes, write a journal, connect emotionally with what you're thinking. And I don't think that we'd have the mental instability, not just in the military, but I think as a whole, because people can't get in touch with their own emotions, let alone to go, okay, what is it that I really want to do better tomorrow? I need to go, maybe I need to go check out material on XYZ. I mean, you think about it, we have this AI, which is wonderful. If you want to ask it a question, explain to me, the Kant's theory on good and evil. I mean, and you don't have to necessarily go get a book to do all that. You can get a gist of it. That's a good start. But I still think that you need to pick up, even if it's Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, the best way to really learn is just pick up a book and start reading. You're going to start seeing that, like you said earlier, they've connected that with writing with your cognitive abilities start to really shape up. And so that's where I would say is start reading, start writing, start questioning. And it's not question authority. It's, well, why did they say this? How did they say that? Why did they use this word rather than what other word would I use? And that is part of that community of inquiry. And we don't
I
have
said,
enough of that.
yeah, I agree. That is something that's very important. Is when you're. Oh, I gotta let Mark in again. Sorry. when, man, I can't remember what I said. Oh well, I lost it.
But I
Sorry.
mean, so I haven't had the pleasure of reading Mark's book, and I will look it up now. But from a leadership standpoint, what are you seeing in, say, someone who's in their 20s? Do you deal with people who are in their 20s, vice people who are in their 60s that are leaders?
The first thing I see is the
You're
sensitivity.
Uh-oh.
you're coming in garbled, Mark.
No,
Barely understand you.
turn off my computer and do everything. How about
Okay.
now? Better?
No. No.
Sign back out, sign back in.
Okay. When all else fails, turn it off, turn it back on.
Log out,
That's
log back in. But yet we can send some unit to Mars with clear pictures, but we still
Yeah.
have yet to have perfected the internet in 3,000 miles.
Yeah, at least we got those pictures.
Yeah, yeah. That gives us like, is that something that was some extraterrestrial made?
Yeah. Well,
No,
they declassified a lot of that, so I don't know if everybody read into that. I didn't read into it, but
nah. I don't know. I this is my conspiracy theorist. Is we live in a simulation. They feed us what they want when they want.
yeah, yeah. That's true, though. It does seem like that.
It does, because just as you get one, to me, I know some people will be like, okay, you're crazy, but some people would be like, well, why is it that all of a sudden we get all the JFK?
Yeah, it's still garbled. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Okay, let me try one more thing.
All right.
But that's what I pretty much say, they released the JFK files.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so was it the limo driver, the Secret Service limo driver? Was it, Lee Harvey Oswald? Was it a third person on the grassy knoll?
The grassy knoll. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember taking a class, gosh, this was now like 30, 35 years ago. I took a class in the Washington, D.C. area. And it was the class was on a counterintelligence class, and it was taught by Oleg Kulgin, who was a KGB. He was one of the I guess the KGB station chief in DC.
Oh wow.
During the 1980s. So of course during the
Yeah.
Hansen and the Aldrich Ames, but he was a young KGB officer, I think in like New York in the early 1960s, and when JFK was assassinated. And this is coming from him. He had already, defected to the U.S. and was a U.S.
Right.
citizen by this time. But in the mid 90s, he was teaching. Gosh, I don't even know if the academy is still around. But he was really great and forthcoming. But he was one of the first ones to say it, that your government and the Russian government, any government, there's always going to be multiple stories. That's just the way they operate. And it's one to fool other governments, and it's to fool their own people. They didn't like the way JFK was going about it. I mean, this is, you got to think he was assassinated not too long after the 13 days, right? With the Cuban Missile Crisis. And
oh yeah, absolutely.
he was willing to give up national security assets to say, we have pictures. Well, how did you get those pictures? Well, we have these really great planes that fly. But I mean, it really did. He wanted to show the American people, here's the threat. Well, when was that?
Right.
Was pretty much the last time we ever had any real leadership or a government do that. I mean, I think, like, the agency is just out of control. It doesn't matter who the director is, with whether it was.
You're talking the CIA? Is that what you're
Yeah.
talking about? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's, to me, every government agency, because it's so old, it's so institutionalized, people just go off the rails when they want to. I mean, you look at where we're at now with the FBI, and I still talk to a lot of colleagues who have since retired, who are still in. I'm still part of organizations that are associations of current and, previous BU people, as well as still talk to a lot of agency people. And they just want sheep. And that's what they're really looking at. But that's part of the reason I wrote the Safeguarding Analytical Integrity book.
Yeah.
Was just for that. Doesn't matter on the political spectrum. Every president has had some kind of intelligence politicalization or weaponization done.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But it's all smoke and mirrors to you and I. We just have to, go to our jobs 9 to 5, and they expect you to be able to do that. No questions asked.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I'm like, oh my gosh, people aren't. I just finished, and right behind me, you see the purple, the green, and the maroon. That is actually a 3-volume set of. I keep wanting to say Gorbachev, but it's Nikita Khrushchev's his memoirs. And if you ever get a chance to read those, now it took me 7 years.
Oh my God.
To read those. Like, longer than it took me to read Winston Churchill's books, which I've got his whole sets as well.
Wow.
But it's that history and trying to read somebody else's perspective. And Khrushchev, I mean, he lined it out exactly what he felt and what he was doing during his, during the Cold War. But he didn't believe it either. I mean, I'm reading between the lines. He never comes out and says it, but it's they're towing that line, that ideology, because they were just kind of stuck in it.
Yeah,
it's like we're stuck in it.
Wow.
But yeah,
Mark, can we hear you now?
I can hear you perfectly now.
Yeah,
I can hear you perfectly now.
Yes,
Great.
I can't remember what you were going to talk about, though.
Well, we were talking about like today's individuals, today's leaders. There is I think, a total sensitivity issue where if you are explicit and direct with your communication about someone's performance, behavior, and conduct, it just almost crushes their self-esteem.
well, they don't have self-esteem, probably.
And that's
point.
part of it, but even, and maybe they haven't been raised properly, or they were, verbally abused in a lot of ways where they haven't built up the good self-esteem but that's all part of, say, like military training, the recruit entry training, and then the follow-on training, where it's never good enough. You're always striving for something higher. You're trying to make the basics of the institution to get through and become a part of that institution.
Right.
And then go to your follow-on units and get trained even more heavily, and have higher standards that you have to fulfill. But like I said, some of these issues that have come out on national spectrum, like, Andrew, like we talked a couple years ago, the mold in the barracks, and actually the mold in the bathroom, the showers, was part of what the USS Abraham Lincoln they were complaining about.
Yeah.
Who's responsible for those little areas? The individual Marine and the unit and the
That's
gunnery,
supposed to hold them accountable
the
to cleaning it.
supervisors in that unit at each level. Who's not getting around and looking into these issues?
Well, so I
It's a
did
good
some.
point.
I was when I saw
Brilliance in the
that
basics.
when I saw that video, I was like, "Holy cow!" I mean, never. I mean, I was on the USS Wisconsin during the first Persian Gulf War, and you know, so and then my second ship also was a 1940s keel laid, and but what struck me was, wait, that can't be the Abraham Lincoln. Found out it's the Enterprise because
Really?
of, well, you have to look at the toilet and the showers because of the tubes, the pipes,
Pipes, yeah.
the overhead pressure. That's how the toilets were flushed,
Ah, okay.
because those were Nimitz class, or before Nimitz class. And but that's the thing, is so many people, again, even in the Navy channels, people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how they really let go of, cleaning the berthing areas and all that. And then a lot of people are like, but there's no way then to find out that original video came from, because it's sitting in what, Norfolk, Virginia. It's been sitting waiting for its reactor to be taken offline. It hasn't been used, but somebody just used that video.
Use the
As an
video.
example.
And it was right on the heels of the sailor on the Abraham Lincoln, who
Yeah.
had the low self-esteem that, we're being worked to death. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, you're not the only ones, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I bet that's happening quite a bit though. Taking videos of stuff within the military, taking videos of stuff and then taking it in and saying, oh, this is messed up. And when it's really not, and they just want to start something or whatever. I bet that's happening a lot.
I would not want to be in the position as a leader that would have to explain that in any shape or form. This is my crew, or this was supposedly my ship. I mean, I got a feel for the admiral of the carrier, let alone the carrier group itself, on that they have to answer to this and to go, I know the Navy never came out really publicly and said that's had nothing to do with the Abraham Lincoln, because who are you going to, you let it lie, and it kind of did. But that was one of the first things that struck me was, wait, Abraham Lincoln and the Reagan and none of those have that. Because
well, good for you to be able to recognize it.
Plumbing facilities.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
But it's the same time as who in their self-respect would be, being that subversive, It's like,
yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, we have people in the military and in public service that are doing it for nothing more than, I can't really say money, but it's, that they're not there for actual service, that,
right.
They're not there to, I know I can speak for myself. I mean, I went in and I never had to go to captain's mast. I think I was written up once because I missed a PT workout after failing a run. But it was the chief that did the physical fitness test came in, admonished me in front of my, leading petty officer as well as my division officer. And I rolled my eyes, and that was the last time I ever rolled my eyes. Because, and I took it exactly. That was the type of leader. He's like, I remember him going, he said his piece, the chief walked out, and like an hour later, he came back with a counseling shit and said, here you go. I did not appreciate that you rolled your eyes. You need to take, your responsibility that you failed to meet this requirement. I was simply letting you know we need to schedule a new one, but your attitude was nonverbal and was still disrespectful. And I'm like, whoa. But we just don't. I know with the everything from when I was a juvenile probation officer or teaching at the high school, but I even have it at adults who are in graduate and doctoral. When I meet with them on Zoom, and their nonverbal language is like, I'm just trying to help you here.
That's
yeah.
very true.
Accountability is the cornerstone of leadership.
Yes. And I think that's where, again, we parental accountability. We look at, like here where I'm at in Eastern Texas, we're struggling with the Carmelo Anthony and Metcalf murder trial, and subsequent, they wanted a new murder trial. And of course, there's no parental accountability of that family, of the perpetrator, and you can see that in a lot of society as well, of that he stabbed somebody. I mean, no one gets over that fact. They kind of just push that out of the way, and that he
with a knife that he brought to that place.
Yes. But they want to argue that to death of, well, but the other kid was supposedly, in juvenile probation, and I can't confirm it, that he had some kind of white supremacist. It's like, but to me, it doesn't matter. He could have, but he's not the one that went up to the other kids. So, but again, it's accountability. And I think that is a big part of, like I said, my stuff. I'll go back to the critical thinking of, well, you can't really argue your way out of accountability and your sole responsibility to yourself. I'm not sure if any of you have read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Beep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just read it for the first time, and it had me actually laughing almost every page. I mean, because you really start to look at it from that. It's not just like, oh, I don't care. It's your own self-accounting. Like you got to, okay, you're in charge of your own emotions. So why get upset at a road rage? So what? Someone cut you off. You don't know. They had a bad day, but you know what? Just don't give a. So I'm not sure if the show is PG or not. So
no, you can say whatever you want. What's the worst they can do is take me down. That would just be on social media. So
never.
It's okay. It's not the first time that we've been taken off a social media platform for stuff we said. So it is what it is. I was able to get back on, and I was just kicked off for that period of time. So
gotcha.
Yeah, it happens. But well, is there anything else that you want to cover down on and talk about?
I don't.
No. Okay.
I appreciate the time and everything.
Yeah. Do the plug on your book again. Your books.
My books. The long list. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I mean, out right now on Amazon is 100 Stoic quotes for the challenging daily life. And then I also have my Safeguarding Analytical Integrity, why intelligence analysis should be, of course, void of politicalization. And that and Precision in Perspective is my second book. Both of those books, Safeguarding and the Precision, are only going to be on Amazon for another couple of weeks, because as soon as they go live with Cambridge Scholars, I'm taking them down. So,
okay.
Yeah, I got to take them down because they'll be the sole publisher. And
so if somebody wants that one, they'll have to go over there to get it, like order it.
That's where they'll have to go. But for right now, those two are definitely available on Amazon. The 100 Stoic Quotes is also available. I have a kind of it's The Philosopher in the Fusion Center. I wrote it. It's about crime analysis in fusion
Yeah.
centers, intelligence analyst in fusion centers. And I kind of wrote it from the humorous standpoint that people always think that intelligence is this very cold and stoic, calculated work. And yet we have the most fun, I think. I know that when I worked with the Bureau, I worked at the Terrorist Explosive Device Analytics Center.
Yeah.
And I had a blast, pun intended, because they taught us how to blow stuff up, how to make explosives.
Right. Yeah.
We were on Quantico at the time. Now they're in Huntsville, but we used to have to go to what they call Charlie, and Charlie Det, which was on the Marine Corps base, is this huge field. We would blow up cars
Really?
post blast and to see, like, did this explosive, what did 155 millimeter howitzer, what kind of damage would it do to a car?
Yeah.
And what would be
Wow.
the blast radius? I mean, heck. So, but we used to play all day long in the office of Stump the Chump. We would ask each other questions. And this is where, again, this is 2016, 2015, 2016. And I just
Yeah.
absolutely loved being in this fusion center where you had people who were, they're scientists, they're bomb techs, they're, they're IT cyber sleuths. And we would ask questions that to you and I would probably be, well, you wouldn't know the answer.
Yeah.
Or some would know the answer because, well, you're like, oh, that's general knowledge. Like one of the questions, what cigar did President Clinton use when he entertained Monica Lewinsky?
You know what? I know one person that might be able to answer that. Vic Nave. He's not on tonight, but he might be able to answer. He's our cigar guy, so he does
So,
the reviews.
yeah, well, yeah, we did find out. We found out exactly that it was also a box of 20 cigars was $2,500.
Oh my
So
God.
it was Gurkha was the cigar maker, and it was a Grand Reserve, a blend made just specifically for Bill Clinton.
No
But
kidding. Wow.
yeah, it was like, but somebody brought that up because, again, even back then, I was a
Yeah.
big cigar guy, and someone said, "Yeah, you know so much." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's a good question." So we searched, but it is. I kind of wrote this, the philosopher in the fusion center, to kind of get
Mhm.
people to think that we're not always just straight mundane dry, it's not like it's
Yeah.
in the movies. But then yes, I just self-published my precision and curiosity theory. It's an analytical framework, theoretical framework, and I published that, and then have kind of been shopping it around as well. And that's found on book.by.
Okay.
And then, but I have a couple of books they're almost ready to be published by Cognella and McFarland as well. So be standing by for those to come out within the next couple of weeks to the next couple of months. Because I've been working on a lot of these books for the last 4 or 5 years, but it's been the last 2 or 3 that I've been able to sit down and really, really knock them out. So but fun. So yeah.
Wow. You're a busy guy.
I try.
I gotta say, yeah. You're knocking them out though. That's a good deal.
Yep.
So, but hey, thanks for coming on and doing this again. I have a fun time chatting with you, so I appreciate you.
Yep. We'll have to, next time we'll have to teach people how to either cook their own explosive compounds or we'll make breadboards and
Oh my goodness.
It is interesting how much the government will send you to learn how to do stuff. So
Yeah, that's true. It is. That's good though. It's
yeah,
good. It opens up that thinking
yep,
brain there. It's good. It's good.
yeah. So,
All
but
right.
thank you,
Well,
Mark. I'm going to check out your book, called what? Validated Leadership, right?
yeah,
Validated
valid.
leadership.
Got it
I
right there.
will check that out. Is it available on Amazon?
It is on Amazon.
Well, I will be picking up a copy tonight.
All right.
All right, man. Well, Mark, do you have words of wisdom tonight?
Of course I do.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's always prepared. Now we always do words of wisdom at the end. So, are you ready to? Are you prepared for words of wisdom, Dr.
Doctor?
Charles Russo?
Words have consequences.
Mm,
So mind your words.
that was good. Yeah,
And that's straight out of the Bible also.
yeah. Wow. Yeah, that was good. That was good. I like it. Of course, we're going to have to do this one thing just because it's a humdinger of a intro. Humdingers with Sergeant Major Mark O'Loughlin.
I'm going to echo the doctor's words. Confucius says, without knowing the force of words, one cannot know man.
Dang. Yep. Both of you bringing it hard. Man, good thing nobody else was here tonight. They would have, wouldn't have gone well for them. So, well, again, thank you very much for coming on and doing this. Mark, as always, thank you for coming on as well. Have fun down in Florida. I know that's where you're at right now. So,
Well, I'm flying back early tomorrow morning, so.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, this is your last night there, man. Go party it up,
No, that's it. It's 9 p.m. down here.
All right. Well, thanks again. Truly appreciate it. I'll close this one out the same way I always do. But to everybody out there, if you're struggling, need help, anything like that, don't forget the VA does have some good resources. You can always dial 988, press option 1. You can always text 838-255 or go to veteranscrisisline.net, click on that chat icon. Any of those options will put you in contact with somebody that can help you out. But remember, one veteran life lost is one too many. I care about you. I know both of these gentlemen care about you. The whole veteran community cares about you. So please reach out for help. And if you're out there, you're not struggling, reach out to the buddies you served with. Ask them how they're doing. If they need a helping hand, please give it to them. All right. One last time. You guys rock. I love you. To everybody out there, stay motivated. Change your
socks.
You served on active duty with purpose. Get that purpose back by joining the Marine Corps League. Support the Lost Art Project Veterans Voices. Enter our quarterly raffle for a Saddleback Leather Company flight bag. 1 ticket for $10 or 3 for $25. Support veterans. Enter now. Every veteran has a story. Every story is a piece of history. Join the project as we collect, preserve, educate, and inspire. The Lost Art Project. Veterans' Voices. Preserving voices. Protecting legacies.